إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه وتسليما لأمره. عظم الله لك الأجر يا رسول الله بمصابك بولدك الحسين. عظم الله لك الأجر يا أمير المؤمنين. عظم الله لك الأجر يا فاطمة الزهراء بمصابكما بولدكما الحسين. عظم الله لكم الأجر يا أئمة الهدى ومصابيح الدجى. وعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين. وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثاره مع وليه الإمام المهدي من آل بيت محمد. By Allah, you have truly demonstrated your love and your passion and your support for the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam. For 10 days and 10 nights continuously you have been coming, mourning, shedding tears, paying your respects and giving your condolences to Fatima az-Zahra alayhi salam. Many have also stayed up last night in honor and in continuing the sunnah of their Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, who stayed up all night, the night of Ashura. Many have also refrained from eating and drinking all morning. Many of you have been here from early parts of this morning doing the a'mal and sitting down. I know you are tired, but by Allah, imagine how tired that Mawla must have been, who not only went through all these hardships in one day, in a few hours. He dug the trench. Today you refrain from food and drinking in honor of the thirst, to feel a little bit of the thirst of Imam al-Husayn. Yes, a man came to Imam Zain al-Abidin and he said, "How thirsty was your father Husayn?" Imam said to him, "Do you know, O brother O Arab?" He said, "When you travel in the desert, and when there is a piece of land where some water had compiled, and when the sun dries that land, do you see the cracks in the crust of that land?" Imam says that those kind of cracks appeared on the tongue of my father Hussein. How, oh by Allah, today is the final day we mourn for Imam al-Hussein. From tomorrow we begin crying for the rida of Zainab and Kulthum. The day of Ashura began. Allahu Akbar with the adhan of Ali al-Akbar. Some say it was Imam al-Hussein himself who did the adhan. What Imam then started by still wanting to bring back these enemies. He sent his companions, "Go and advise your tribesmen." When they came back defeated, he then ascended on the horse of Rasulullah, wearing the amama of Rasulullah and the aba of Rasulullah, and carrying the sword of Rasulullah. He comes to them to advise them, but they reject his advice. He says, "Why are you fighting me? Have I killed any of you? Have I usurped the rights of any of you? Let me and my family go back to our land." They said, "No, O Hussein, we fight you in hatred for your father Ali." Umar ibn Sa'd fires the first arrow. The battle starts. He had brought with him 4,000 archers. After Umar ibn Sa'd fired his arrow, the archers were ordered to fire. Now, scores of arrows came towards the camp of Imam al-Hussein, and some of the companions lost their lives. Imam had divided his army into 3 parts. On the right flank, he ordered the commander to be Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, and for the left flank it was Habib ibn al-Madahir, and he gave the raya, the alam, to his brother Abbas, who was the commander of the center part of the army. We found on the day of Ashura something that baffles the hearts and the minds. We found the companions of Imam racing against each other, fighting against each other to offer their sacrifices. But not the men only, but the children were racing against. They coming pleading to Imam to give them an opportunity. After Hur had presented his sacrifice, after Burayr had presented his sacrifice, Muslim ibn Awsaja goes to the battlefield. When he falls on the battlefield, Habib ibn al-Madahir with Imam al-Hussein come to him. Imam takes his head into his lap. Habib says to him, "Oh Muslim, by Allah, had I not known that I will join you shortly, I would have asked you for your wasiyah." Muslim said, "Usika bihada wa Habib, I have a wasiyah. Please protect my Mawla Hussein." He says, "Warabbil Ka'bati af'al." I swear by the Lord of the Kaaba, I shall. The time of Dhuhr came. Abu Thumam al-Sa'idi comes to Imam al-Hussein. He says, "Oh Mawla Hussein, there is no escape from martyrdom today, but my heart wants to pray my final wajib salah behind you. Just now you have completed your salah in peace and serenity, but do you know how Imam prayed?" Imam looked to Abu Thumama and he says, "Yes, by Allah, this is the time for the best time of Salat al-Dhuhr. Oh Abu Thumama, may Allah make you amongst the ones who uphold prayers." Imam then led Salatul Khawf of the remnant of his army, but he placed two individuals in front of him, who Zuhair ibn al-Qayn and Sa'id ibn Abdullah stood right in front of Imam alayhi salam. When Imam began Allahu Akbar, initially he asked them for respite so that prayers can be conducted. They refused. Umar ibn Sa'd ordered 500 archers to shower Imam while he was praying with their arrows. Sa'id says to his companion, "Listen, let us make sure that not a single arrow touches Mawla Hussein. Otherwise, how can we forgive ourselves?" Sa'id stood in front of the incoming arrows. History writes that he was showered with arrows. After his armor was filled with arrows, he began taking the arrows on his head and his hands and his arms and his eye. And by the time Imam said, "Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh," Sa'id ibn Abdullah falls on the ground looking at Imam with a smile on his face. He says, "Mawla Hussein, hal wafayt? Oh Mawla, have I fulfilled my covenant?" Imam says to him, "Yes, by Allah, you are in front of me in paradise." And the battle then continues. But after Dhuhr, only a handful of Sahaba were left. Amongst them was a young man who had only been married for 17 days, who had only entered into Islam for 10 days at the hands of Imam Wahab, the Christian man who converted to Islam. He comes to Imam and says, "Allow me my permission to go." Imam said to him, "Your mother is with you in Karbala. Her right is over you. Go and ask her for permission." He comes to his mother. His mother says to him, "Go by Allah. Make me proud in the eyes of Fatima al-Zahra." But his wife says to him, "Oh Wahab, we are newly married. Oh Wahab, you will leave me alone." His mother says to Wahab, "Go." Wahab comes to the battlefield. As he begins his battle, moments after he began his battle, he notices his wife shouting and running behind him, saying, "Oh Wahab, fight valiantly and protect the son of Rasulullah." Wahab turns to her and he says, "By Allah, were you not the one who stopped me from going moments ago?" She says, "What can I do, oh Wahab? I heard some words from Imam al-Hussein that cut the veins of my heart." He said to her, "What did you hear?" She said, "I heard Imam standing holding onto a pole of the tent, saying, 'Wa ghurbata, wa qillata nasra.'" How ghareeb has Hussein become. A man cuts his right and left hands. Wahab falls on the ground. He is martyred. His wife comes holding a pole in her hand. She comes and sits at the body of Wahab. Here Shamr Mal'un tells his ghulam Rustam, "Go and hit her on the head." He comes and he kills her. She was the first lady martyr of Karbala. Moments later, an 11-year-old child, a son of a companion of Imam, is coming forth, having worn his father's armor and carrying his father's sword. When the companions of Imam see him coming, Imam sees him in the distance. He says, this is the child of Fulan. His father has only been just killed. Send him back to his mother, for jihad is not wajib on him. When the companions stood up to take him back, he breaks free from them and he comes in front of Imam. He says, oh Mawla Hussein, inna ummi allati albasadni lamata harbi. Oh Imam al-Hussein, allow me to go. It is my mother who put this armor on me, saying, oh son, you saw your father, it is your turn now. Imam says, Jazakumullahu khayran an ahli bayt Rasulillah. The young man comes into the battlefield and he recites his rich couplets of poetry that by Allah cut the veins of the hearts. He says, Amiri Husaynun wa ni'mal amir, sururu fu'adil bashir nadir. My master is Hussein, and the best of masters he is. He is the light of the end of the eyes of Fatima and Ali. Do you know anyone else more worthy than him? He fights valiantly, then he falls. Then the slaves go. When Salim al-Turki was a slave from Turkish ancestry, he was a slave of Imam. He offers his sacrifice. When he falls on the battlefield, Imam himself comes to him. He grabs hold of Salim's face and he places his cheek on his own cheek. I say to you, by Allah, remember in the night of Ali al-Akbar, we said Imam had placed his cheek on the cheek of Ali al-Akbar. In this incident, he places his holy cheek on the cheek of a slave, Turkish slave. When he opens his eyes, he smiles. He says, who is more luckier than me? Then the son of Rasulullah is placing his cheek on my cheek, as if Imam is saying that in the eyes of Hussein, there is no difference between the slave Salim and my son Ali al-Akbar. We are brothers in Islam and humanity. Another slave comes to him. His name is John, a man in his 70s or 80s. He was the slave of Abu Dhar. Abu Dhar, after his death, gave him to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen gave him to Imam al-Hasan. Imam al-Hasan gave him to Imam al-Hussein. He came in servitude of Imam al-Hussein in Karbala. He comes to Imam. He says, oh Mawla Hussein, allow me to go and offer my sacrifice. Imam turns around to him and says, oh John, you wanted to serve us. You have fulfilled your servitude. You do not have to go and fight. John falls on the feet of Imam, kissing them. He says, oh Mawla Hussein, at times of peace and serenity, you showered your blessings on me. Oh Imam, I ate from the food you threw at me. Oh Imam, when the time of hardship comes upon you, I leave you. No, by Allah, Imam, allow me to go and offer my sacrifice. When all the companions had offered their sacrifice and no one had remained, Ali al-Akbar came to Imam al-Hussein. Father Hussein, allow me to go. Imam, let Ali al-Akbar go. Now, oh my brothers and sisters, Imam stands on the plains of Karbala with his back bent, having carried all the bodies of the shuhada. He has now pulled the spear from the heart of, from the chest of Ali al-Akbar. He has already collected the pieces of the body of Qasim. He has also picked up the two hands of Abbas and he left his body on near the Furat. Now Imam comes in front of the enemies and shouts with a frail voice, Ala hal min nasirin yansuruna, Ala hal min dabbin yadubbu an harami Rasulillah. Is there anyone to help us? Is there anyone who will be willing to protect the household of the Prophet? I have read only last night in traditions that the first person to say labbaik was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says labbaik abdi. Then one by one all the prophets said labbaik, and then the Shi'as of the Imam preceded by Imam al-Zamana in Ziyarat Nahiya says labbaik da'i Allah. But on the plains of Karbala only one person said labbaik. Little Ali al-Asghar opens his cloth and he falls from his bed. Imam takes him. He begs for water. They do not give him water. Instead, they quench his thirst with a three-headed arrow that pierced the jugular from the neck, from the jugular Eventually Imam digs a small hole behind the tent. He places Ali al-Asghar there. He waters his grave with a few droplets of water from his holy eyes. Now that no one remained, Imam comes. Allama al-Nuri in his book Wadi al-Salam or Dar al-Salam writes that one man saw in his dream, a alim sees in his dream that Allama al-Majlisi is delivering a majlis in the sahn of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, in the foyer of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, with great ulama seated in the majlis, when all of a sudden a messenger comes in the form of an angel. He says to him, "O Majlisi, Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam is ordering you to recite the wida' of her son Hussein." Majlisi begins, he says, when no one remained, Imam al-Hussein comes to the tent. He shouts with his loudest voice, "Ya Zainabu, ya Kulthum, ya Sukainatu, ya Rubab, alaykunna minni salam." You accept the final salams of your Imam. Imam says, the history writes, Imam enters into the tent. They engulf him from everywhere. They kissing his feet and his hands. "Oh Imam, you are our last hope. Will you also leave us here?" Imam says, what? Imam says, the time has come to go. "Oh Zainab, bring me some old garments that I can wear as an undergarment." Oh Imam, when Zainab lady Salamullahi alayha brought those garments, Imam puts them on. Then he begins ripping them from everywhere. Zainab says to him, "Oh brother Hussein, you are the son of the master of the universe. You cut my vein by doing this to yourself. Why do you do such a thing?" He says, "Oh Zainab, moments from now I will be martyred. I do not want them to strip these clothes from my body." Now Imam goes to bid farewell to his son Ali Zain al-Abidin. Imam enters his tent. History writes he remained in an unconscious state. Imam sits next to him. Imam cries. A few droplets of the tears of Imam fall on the cheek of Imam al-Sajjad. Imam al-Sajjad opens his eyes. He sees his father Hussein. He had seen his father Hussein in the morning, but now when he sees his father Hussein, he sees a cheek that is smeared with dust and with blood. He sees a beard that had turned white and was colored with the blood. Imam al-Samana alayhi salam mentions this. He captures this moment in Ziyarat al-Nahiya. He says, "As-salamu ala al-khadd al-tarib, as-salamu ala al-shayb al-khadim, as-salamu ala al-badan al-salim." My salams be on that Hussein whose cheeks was smeared with the dust and the clay and the blood, and whose beard had been colored with the blood. May my salams be on that Hussein who was cut into pieces. Imam Zain al-Abidin sees his father Hussein. The first thing he asks, he says, "Ayna ammi al-Abbas?" "Oh Father Hussein, where is that shadow of yours, my uncle Abbas?" Imam says, "Qad qutil." Then he says, "Ayna أخي علي الأكبر أين حبيب المظاهر أين مسلم ابن عوسجة." Imam kept saying, "قد قتل قد قتل قد قتل." Imam said, "Oh Ali, stop. Understand this, that amongst the men now, only I remain, or you remain." Imam says, "Oh Lady Zainab, pass me my stick and my sword." Imam says to Ali, "Oh Sajjad, son Sajjad, what do you plan to do?" Imam replies, "I will hold the stick and support myself, and I will fight with the sword, for by Allah this life is not worth living after the son of Rasulullah is inflicted with these inflictions." Imam said to him, "You are ill, and Allah does not allow his earth to be without a hujjah." Imam passes the secrets of Imamah to him. He entrusts him with his family. He says, "You are the protector of my family." Now Imam comes out of the tent. Imam looks left and right. Maybe he is thinking, "Oh Abbas, where are you? Oh Ali al-Akbar, where are you? Whenever I wanted to ascend a horse, you would bring it to me. You will bend down on your human knees allowing me a platform. When Lady Zainab saw the state, she came to him, she says, "Oh, brother Hussein, worry not. Zainab is still alive." She brings the horse. Imam ascends to Dhul Janah. Now Imam, when he wants to gallop forward, he notices Dhul Janah will not move. Imam says, "Oh, faithful horse of mine, I know you are tired as well. Your Imam is tired as well. Oh, Dhul Janah, this is the final time. I'm asking you to help me." Dhul Janah bends his head down as if he wants to point towards his feet. When Imam looked down, he saw a little girl hugging onto the legs of Dhul Janah, saying, "Oh, Dhul Janah, I beg you, do not take my father Hussein, for no one has gone to the battlefield and returned back alive." Imam descends from the horse. He takes little Sakina and some say Ruqayya into his laps. He says, "Oh, Sakina, why do you not let me go?" She says, "Father Hussein, astaslamta lil maut." "Oh, Father Hussein, have you given in towards martyrdom?" Imam says to her, "كيف لا يستسلم للموت من لا ناصر له ولا معين." "Oh, Sakina, look around you. There are no more supporters for Hussein. Hussein has no other choice." She says, "Send us back towards Medina." He says, "That cannot happen." She says, "Ruddana ila harami abina." She says, Imam says, "That cannot happen." Then she says, "Oh, Father Hussein, then let me sleep for the final time on your holy chest." Imam comforts her. After she sleeps, Imam places her in the hands of Lady Zainab and says to her, "Oh Zainab, I am entrusting you with Sakina." Now Imam launches his attack. As he begins galloping towards the enemies, he notices a frail voice shouting with strength, "Mahlan, Mahla." Here the alim says, I now notice the same angel came rushing. He said to Majlisi, "Oh Allama Majlisi, stop, for Fatima al-Zahra has fallen unconscious." When Imam turned around, he saw his sister Zainab running a little and falling, shouting, "Wait a little, O son of Zahra." Imam returns back. He says to her, "Oh Zainab, did I not bid you farewell?" She says, "Yes, you did. But by Allah, I remember the will of my mother." "Oh, Brother Hussein, I remembered at the time of the death of my mother Fatima." She said, "Oh, Zainab, when the day comes that Hussein goes for his fight, I want you to kiss his neck from me." Imam al-Hussein uncovers his neck. Lady Zainab kisses the neck of Imam. She says, "My mother said that this is where the dagger will run." Then Imam says, "Oh Zainab, I also remember the will of my father Ali." On the 21st night of Ramadan, Amir al-Mu'mineen said to me to kiss your hands because this is where Shimr Mal'oon will tie his robes. Imam kisses the hands of Zainab. Now he goes towards the battlefield. Once again, Imam asks them 3 things. He said, "Allow me to take my family and go back. I will pray for your forgiveness." They said, "That is not possible." He said to them, "Give me some water then, for by Allah, my liver is cut into pieces." They said to him, "That is not possible." He said, "Then fight me one by one." They accepted that. Imam fought such a valiant war that Ali ibn Abi Talib would be proud of. Thousands of people were killed by the sword of Imam. Imam launched an attack on the Maymana and on the right flank, and they dispersed. On the left flank, and they dispersed. On the heart, and they dispersed. When finally Umar ibn Sa'd saw that there is no chance we can defeat this man, he said, "Now, do not fight him one by one anymore. Attack him from everywhere. Throw everything you have at him." The people grabbed these people who had arrows, they showered their arrows. Those with spears threw their spears. Some picked up stones and they threw stones at Imam alayhi salam. One mal'oon threw a stone that hit the forehead of Imam, and blood began gushing out of the forehead of Imam. When Imam lifted his cloth to try and wipe the blood, Hurmala mal'oon fired an arrow that pierced the armor of Imam and hit him in his heart. Now Imam could no longer stay on the horse. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says there was not an inch of body on the body of my grandfather Hussein that was spared from an injury. Some historians write over 1,900 injuries. How can you fit 1,900 injuries to the front of one man? Now Imam could not stay on the horse anymore. He lost his balance. As Imam began falling, I do not know whether he fell on the earth first or he was carried by the arrows first. When Imam came to the ground, the first thing he wanted to do is prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But because he had the injury, he placed his cheek on the ground. And this is where Imam al-Zamana in Ziyarat Nahiya says, what kind of sabr is this, O Hussein? تعجبت من صبرك ملائكة السماء. The angels of Allah, the prophets of Allah are amused, they're baffled with this patience and perseverance. Imam with his cheek on the ground says, Ilahi, taraktu al-khalqa turran fi hawaka. Oh Allah, in your love I am leaving behind this world. I have accepted for my family to be orphaned, for my children to be orphaned. Then he says, Ridam biridak, Ilahi la ma'buda siwak. Oh Allah, if you are pleased, then Hussein is pleased. Hussein has given Ali Asghar, and he says, oh Allah, in kana hada yurdik, faqul hatta tarda. Oh Allah, if this pleases you, then take until you are pleased. Then Imam al-Hussein prays for those enemies. He cries. When some mal'oon asks him, why do you cry? He says, I cry because these people will go to the fire of hell because of me. Now history writes, when Imam al-Hussein was no longer on the horse of Imam began encircling him, trying to defend him while people were attacking him. After killing so many, the horse smudged his head with the blood of Imam alayhi salam, and he galloped towards the tents. Imam al-Zamana mentioned this in Ziyarat Nahiya. He says, فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَا النِّسَاء سَرْجَكَ مَلْوِيًّا. Imam, when the women folks heard the voice of the horse, they came to him. Sukaina bint al-Hussein came, and she grabbed the horse, and she says, O Dhul Jana, هَلْ سَقَوْا أَبِيَ الْحُسَيْنَ الْمَاءَ أَمْ قَتَلُوهُ عَطْشَانًا. O Dhul Jana, tell me, did they give any water to my father Hussein, or did they kill him thirsty? The horse could not tolerate. He strikes his head. He falls dead on the ground. When Lady Zainab sees him, she cannot see her brother Hussein. She runs towards the battlefield. She comes at the body which she could not recognize because of the amount of injuries. She says to Imam al-Hussein, I beseech you by our grandfather Rasulullah, are you my brother Hussein? I beseech you with the name of my father Ali. When she had no reply, she says, بحق أمنا فاطمة هل أنت أخي الحسين? I ask you for the sake of our mother Fatima, are you my brother Hussein? Imam brings some strength into his body. He says, oh Zainab, do not cut the veins of my heart. Hussein is still alive. Return back to the tent. As she was returning back to the tent, when she reaches Tilla Zainabiyya, Zainab notices that the earth has begun to tremble. The sky is darkening. When when she turns around, Imam al-Zamana, Maulana has just recited, the time came when no angel could see what is happening anymore. No prophet could tolerate to see what is happening anymore. But some personalities remain, those whom Hussein was everything for. Amongst them was Zainab. Now when she turns around, Imam al-Zamana says, وَالشِّمْرُ جَالِسٌ عَلَى صَدْرِهِ آخِذٌ لَحْيَتَكَ بِيَدِهِ وَضَارِبٌ عَلَى عُنُقِكَ بِمُهَنَّدِهِ. Imam says, Shimr Mal'oon. Now when Zainab sees, she sees Shimr Mal'oon sitting on the holy chest of Imam. With the one hand, he grabs the beard of Imam. On the other hand, he takes a dagger that was unsharpened purposely, and he begins striking the neck of Imam to allow to add more torture and more punishment to Imam. 12 times he strikes his dagger on the neck of Imam. Lady Zainab runs into the tent of Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein. A call comes from the sky. Jibreel shouts, Ala qad qutila al-Hussein bi Karbala. Imam awakes. He says, Oh Kulthum, open the door of the khayma. When the door was lifted, now Imam could see the head of his father Hussein on top of the spear. He says, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdi. Please join me in reciting the salam for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together please. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Oh Allah, for the sake of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, oh Allah, for the sake of this holy day, oh Allah, for the sake of the blood of Imam al-Hussein that was shed on the plains of Karbala, oh Allah, we ask you to resurrect us in the proximity of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Oh Allah, we ask you to give us the life of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. And if you give us death, you give us the death of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Oh Allah, we ask you to forgive our sins and the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, we ask you to hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi, Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman.